Oxford by Keith Douglas, 1920 to 1944. At home, as in no other city, here summer holds her breath in a dark street. The trees nocturnally scented, lovers like moths go by silently on the footpaths, and spirits of the young wait. Cannot be expelled, multiply each year. In the meadows walks over the walls the sunlight, far travel, tired and content, warms the recollections of old men, touching the hand of the scholar on his book, marching through quadrangles and arches. At last spent, it leans through the stained windows and falls. This then is the city of young men, of beginning, ideas, trials, pardonable follies, the lightness, seriousness and sorrow of youth, and the city of the old, looking for truth, browsing for years, the mind's 7 bellies filled, becoming legendary figures, seeming stones of the city, her venerable towers dignified, clothed by erudition and time. For them it is not a city, but an existence, outside which everything is a pretence. Within, the leisurely immortals dream, venerated and spared by the ominous hours. Okay, this is a poem by Keith Douglas. Keith Douglas was a British poet. He was born in Tunbridge Wells, and he went to Merton College, Oxford. And this poem was written while Douglas was at Merton. He was sadly killed during the Second World War, during the invasion of Normandy. But this poem is a little bit earlier. This is when he was at university. So this describes Oxford. It describes Oxford incredibly well. At home, as in no other city, here summer holds her breath in a dark street. So Oxford is different. It's different to other cities. It's different to other British cities. It's full of young people, and I think that's the point. And summer is holding her breath. Summer has just started. The trees nocturnally scented, so you can smell the trees. There are lots of trees. Lovers like moths go silently on the footpaths, and the spirits of the young wait. So it's summer, and the lovers have paired off. The students or the young people have paired off, and there's this lovely simile, the lovers walking hand in hand along the footpath of the river or the canal, and they are like moths who silently flutter in the air, and the spirits of the young wait. So the place is full of the spirit of youth, cannot be expelled, multiply each year. So this city is full of the spirit of young people, and there is the spirit of young people everywhere, and this is not something that can be forgotten, can be removed. The spirit of young people who were there, the spirit of young people who will be there. In the meadows walks over the walls the sunlight, far travelled, tired and content, warms the recollection of old men, touching the hand of the scholar on his book. Okay, so the sunlight. This is the sunlights. The sun. It's over the meadow, Port Meadow, over the walks, over the different places to walk, over the walls. The sunlight which has travelled from far distant. This sunlight that, well, it's come 91 million miles, I think, or something like that, and the sunlight itself is tired and content. It's finished its journey. It's arrived where it wanted to. It's arrived at Oxford. And it warms the recollection of old men, touching the hand of the scholar on his book. And now we have the old men. The old men are the professors. This is the establishment, the people, the people who are giving classes, or who are doing their research, or the people who are experts in their field. And I see this vision of one of the tutors coming to touch a scholar on his hand. He's got his hand on a book, and the old professor, the old tutor, touches him on the hand. Marching through the quadrangles and arches, at last spent, it leans through the stained windows and falls. And he's still talking about the light, this sunlight. And this sunlight marches through the quadrangles, the squares of the colleges, and the arches, the architecture. And at last spent, and at last the sun is starting to go down, and it leans, the light goes through the stained windows, the stained glass windows of the churches, of the cathedral, and falls. So here we've got this sunlight, but it's touching all of the different things. It's touching the whole place. It's touching the old men, and the old men are remembering when they were young. These people are remembering when they first came to Oxford, when they first studied here, before they became erudite professors. This, then, is the city of young men. Okay, this is a city of young people, of beginning, ideas, trials, pardonable follies, the lightness, seriousness, and sorrow of youth. So these are all the characteristics of being young. The beginning of things, of new ideas, trying things, of making mistakes, but making the mistakes that we all make. Lightness, so jolliness, happiness, seriousness, and sadness of youth. So this is a city full of all of the characteristics of the youth, and the city of the old. So, but it's not only a city of the young; it's also a city of the old establishment, of the old professors, of people who have been here forever, browsing for years, the mind's 7 bellies filled. So these old professors, they've been looking in the library, they've been reading the books for years, and the belly of the mind, their minds are full of all of the information they could ever have want, become legendary figures. So these are legendary professors, seeming stones of the city. It's like these professors seem to be the very stones of the city. They're part of the construction of the city. Her venerable towers, the spires of Oxford, the towers of Oxford, dignified, clothed by erudition and time. So these people, these professors, these are part of the city, and they are intellectual. They're clothed by erudition, and they have been here. These people have been here through time. Yes, the people change. The professors change. They come and they go and they die, but there are always new ones. And these young people, the young people in the previous one, these go the whole way through to becoming these old professors, or at least some of them. For them it is not a city but an existence. For these professors, for the university town, this is a way of life outside which everything is a pretense. And for these people outside the university, everything is a pretend life. It's not a real life, not the life of real people. Within, the leisurely immortals dream, venerated and spared by the ominous hours. But inside the university, these people, they dream forever. They imagine things, they come up with theories, they understand things. They are intellectual, and they are revered, they are venerated, and they are free to do this. They don't have to live the ominous hours. I think the lives that all other people need to lead, where they need to work, to live, to look after their families. And I think this poem is showing the contrast between this city full of young people who are vibrant and energetic, and this, on the other side, there are the old people, the old professors, the old part of the establishment, the erudite professors who have been there forever, and slowly new ones take their place, and this is something that goes through time. So, Oxford by Keith Douglas.